So it's a new in and it's a new out. It's surprising because the Pharisees and the priestly line and the 12 tribes of Israel, that has been the way that has been. That has been kind of God's family as such until now. And in this moment, Jesus is establishing a new leadership, a new membership, and it is all based on whether you are listening to Jesus and seeking to do the will of God. And there's wonderful clarity in that, isn't there? That invisible criteria that just makes it so hard to work out whether you're in or you're out, and the criteria that changes all the time, and whatever walk of life we're in, I'm sure we've experienced that. But this is a permanent fixture. What Jesus says here, what you do with Jesus, that is the decider. And I think we can apply this both for the in and for the out. So as people who are hearing it and are listening to Jesus and seeking to do the will of God, then we can be assured and encouraged, like, we're in, this is it, that's all that needs to happen. It really is that simple. And actually, as we then think, who could be in God's family? Well, actually, that is accessible to everyone. Anyone who is willing to listen to Jesus and seek to do the will of God. Well, that is not according to your background, your knowledge, your past, any of those things. So that can be assuring for us as we think about who we are, but also assuring as we seek to hold out the gospel to others. I think the clarity of it being all about Jesus encourages me to hold out Jesus to others. It's not about whether you want to come to church. It's not about whether you have the right morals. It's not about your lifestyle. It's not any of those things, really. Those things will all change if you respond to Jesus. But as we're holding out the gospel to others, it is about Jesus. So let's hold out Jesus. Let's get Jesus into the conversation. Let's be those who are known for talking about Jesus, because actually it's all about what we do with Jesus. And through him, you get into God's family. So why not allow as many people as possible respond to Jesus? I think then, as we seek to apply the out, there's a little warning in there that we just need to be aware of. There's a sense, it would be a big surprise to those who are on the out, but his blood family being rejected. The Pharisees, the scribes, the religious powers of the time. And they would have felt entitled to be in God's family. They would have felt, well, we've got all that we need. We know a lot of stuff, we've been doing the right things, we've been keeping the rules, we've been making sure that others keep the rules. For his family, we've been kind of living alongside him. But that is not the thing that gets you into God's family. I wonder whether we have just a slight sense of entitlement, maybe just kind of just hanging on the edges of who we are, think something that we might be tempted to rely on rather than our response to Jesus. Maybe we've always gone to the right sort of church. Maybe we come from a Christian family. Maybe we have an amazing conversion story that we've told many times. And maybe in this kind of vague sense of entitlement, maybe just hovers on the edge. Maybe we have a slight sense of them and us. And we kind of have a sense of, well, you have to be a bit like us in order to be in. And if you're not, you're kind of over there, not sure you qualify. I think Jesus levels out this whole thing. It really is all about the response to Jesus. And that last verse there, that 34, 35, here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of God, he is my brother and sister and mother. It's amazing, it's remarkable if we think about how much we love our family and have allegiance to our family. And Jesus is saying, you can be in my family just through listening and doing the will of God. And as ever, when we're digging into Mark's Gospel, we want to be asking the question every time as we come to the end of our studies, what are we enjoying about Jesus? That's the heart question here. That's the thing which ensures we are loving Jesus, that it's not just we're going through the motions of reading the Bible, of doing a Bible study, but let's always be asking ourselves, what do we enjoy about Jesus? And as we kind of are able to articulate that a bit, hopefully that will then prompt us to listen to Jesus more. And that's one of the questions to be considering. Well, what does it look like to listen to Jesus? What might get in the way of us listening to Jesus? And then what does it look like to do the will of God? What does it look like to really listen and then pray that we might do the godly thing, that we would always choose the godly thing? And that's not to say there's only ever one right answer, but are we concerned to be doing the godly thing, to be doing the thing that pleases God? There's loads of other things that we could be talking about, but just a few things to mull on. Hope to see lots of you next week, and do get in touch with any questions or comments.